Cost of starting a business is a math SPE related to OCTI's Entrepreneurship in the Trades SHSM programming. This video will provide a short overview of the resources that can be found on the OCTI website. There is a teacher slide deck, as well as 2 student worksheets, a risk game, and a video on how to use a app for invoices available that's related to this SPE. The next 2 slides provide an overview of the modules for the SPE. There are 6 modules in total, and they can be done all before the SPE event, or you could split it up. You know your students best, and you can deliver it as needed. You can see here the first module takes a look at what is the business. Module 2 takes a look at initial costs. Module 3, monthly expenses. Module 4 takes a look at salaries. Module 5 is a sustainability piece. Is it doable? Module 6 is creating the invoice using Wave, and it then followed up with the conference and then a follow-up after that. Again, you could split this up into different modules and timings depending on what the needs of your students are. We'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into each of the modules here so you can take a look. The first one, again, what is my business? So this has students considering what business they could run as an entrepreneur after they have finished their apprenticeship training. It'll have them looking at the NOC career handbook and doing some brainstorming and SWOT analysis so they can define the scope of their business. This slide shows the SWOT analysis from the teacher slide deck. And in case students haven't done a SWOT before or having troubles getting started, there are some cues built into the teacher resource that will help students out. To go along with the teacher slide deck, there is a student worksheet and guide. So it is broken down by module and then the corresponding tasks. You can see here that there's also hyperlinks embedded into the document. So this could be done paper-based and teachers could go to the websites, or if students have access to devices, they can use those hyperlinks to help fill in their worksheets. There's an initial and upfront costs are looked at in Module 2. So how much money will they need to get started? So the teacher resources have a series of things for students to consider. So for example, start with registering your business. Many students wouldn't know about that process and we certainly wouldn't know about the costs. The links are included on the teacher slide deck and in the student worksheet as well. And just to make sure everyone is on the right track, the prices and costs for each of those elements have been included in here. These can be changed and updated or reduced as needed by the teacher delivering the content. Other one-time startup costs are listed as well. So things like computers and printer, tools, furniture. This can be changed, prices can be changed, and more content can be added, again, to suit the needs of where this is being delivered within the province and by whatever trade. You can see here the companion student guide. It clearly identifies the module, task, and the related slide reference, and the links of the resources are also included. There is also a student data sheet included that students will work through, and this will help them track the costs. So it is a separate sheet, But again, you could tell what module it is and what tasks, and this will help organize their numbers. And it connects to Unit 5 when they look at the feasibility. Module 3 takes a look at monthly expenses. So different aspects of the business location are explored. From there, students will research a location for their business in order to find a rental price or purchase amount. And then these other expenses have prompts and explanations for students to consider. Fixed amounts are given. Teachers delivering the content can adjust as needed. So for example, in location, it's giving students a series of prompts to consider in determining a location. And prompts for other expenses. Property insurance wouldn't ever probably be on their radar. And because property insurance is so variable, depending on geography and the type of trade, a value has been suggested that students can work with. This, of course, can be edited if needed. And students would add these amounts into their student data sheet. Module 4 takes a look at salaries. So paying yourself as an entrepreneur and taking a look at employee wages, WSIB, CPP. There are calculations given for this and references to using the job bank website to find a realistic salary for the position that they are considering as being an entrepreneur. And again, the calculations. So teachers can easily walk students through the wage calculation weekly, monthly, and annually. In this costing of a business scenario, students are asked to consider 2 employees that they would need to run their business. Some examples are given, and then a prompt to go to the job bank to find appropriate salaries. And then you can use the same formulas as before to figure out those costs. Similar instructions are given for WSIB and CPP in the teacher resources. Module 5 has students taking a look at the big picture. Is their plan realistic? Is it feasible? Is it doable? It has them taking a look at their training and designation costs for their apprenticeship, those startup costs, the monthly expenses, and also pricing of jobs, their monthly project completion, and then some basic accounting forecasting, cost of goods sold, break even, and cost evaluation. For teachers that are not familiar with these terms, you don't need to be a business teacher to be able to follow the instructions. It's all embedded in the modules. So you can see here an example of how the instructions are explained for monthly job pricing. This is based on a hairstylist. The teacher delivering this can customize this to be more specific to the SHSM sector. Module 6 has them using the app Wave to create an invoice related to jobs that they would do for their business. There is a video included on the OCTI website that teachers and students can follow along and access Wave and create their invoice. There is a 7th option, the game. So it's a game of chance and risk. So, and of course, running a business would have those elements as well. Each choice would affect your business, and it would be a fun games for the kids to sort of experience sort of the highs and lows and the risk of running a business. And students that really enjoy it and enjoy the risk, that's a key element in understanding they're an entrepreneurial trait. And if they're a little bit more risk averse, they might need to think a little bit more about being an entrepreneur. The dice game resources are included on the OCTI website as a separate file. Please check the OCTI website for all of the resources for this great SPE.